small. That puts 30 people on our pilot boat. Our pilot boat is 102 years old this year. It was built just a block to the north of here at Grape Street when there was a shipbuilding yard there, where it's been painted tan to be seated. If you are in the front area, please be seated while you're up there. It's like having someone on the hood of your car. Our captain has to see boats coming from all directions out there. You want our captain to see boats coming from all directions out there.
So 快点。
Right this way. Don't get your hopes up. We're not going on this one. We're just crossing this one right this way.
Hold on. 宝贝，回来，回来放。Let me know if you need help. No.
Big step. Yes, please. Good job. 6.
Mama got you.
7.
Oh.
The front, please go all the way around if you'd like to go to the front.
This is the back, right? Yeah.
Which one is
This thing's the back.
You could use a rope like a spring before I got to it.
Okay, good afternoon, folks. Welcome to our 102-year-old pilot boat. My name is John. I'll be your captain. You've already met Herb. He is your deckhand and narrator on this trip. Herb's going to tell you all about the history of the bay, show you lots of our points of interest, all kinds of fun things around the harbor. So once again, welcome aboard and enjoy your tour.
You notice how they didn't share with us?
It's getting windier.
Our bay is about 16 miles long from north to south. There's about 33 miles of shoreline that surrounds our bay, and there are 5 cities on the bay. San Diego, National City, Chula Vista. The southern end of the bay is the city of Imperial Beach. On our western shoreline lies the city of Coronado, on Coronado Island, which is not an island at all. Coronado is a peninsula, joined to the mainland by a narrow strip of sand called the Silver Strand. San Diego's airport has only one runway. It is the busiest single runway airport in North America. A plane takes off or lands every 2 to 3 minutes. Area that the pilots have called this landing the cardiac approach. Like so a plane just takes off, here comes one in for that cardiac approach right now for the city. Now, why do we name the airport Lindbergh Field? Charles Lindbergh. At the base of the hillside behind the airport, that's where Old Town San Diego is located. Old Town is said to be the birthplace of California. The first mission was built there in 1769 in a chain of missions stretching up the coast to San Francisco. Each mission was about 1 day's ride on horseback apart from the last one. There were 21 missions in the chain. Our bay was not very deep originally, only between 8 and 13 feet deep. There was some 2 small boats. Since then, our bay has been dredged a number of times. It now reaches a depth of more than 50 feet deep in the shipping channel. It's rare to see a whale in our bay, but if one comes in, it's always on the news. As we look to the far right, we see a hillside ascending toward the front of the pilot boat. That hillside is a peninsula. Point Loma is about 4 miles long. And most point or peninsula in the contiguous United States. Virgil broke his leg about 3 months later and died of gangrene. He never made it back. Another explorer followed the charts up the coast. Sebastian Vizcaino thought he made a new discovery when he found this bay. He renamed the area San Diego. The north. When Vizcaino checked his GPS, he noticed the mistake, but he didn't care. He went up the coast and renamed everything Discovery after the nearest saint's feast on the Catholic calendar. That's why we have so many names of saints as you go up the coastline. Santa Barbara, San Clemente, San Onofre, and San Francisco. These nuclear-powered carriers last about 50 years. They only need to be refueled once in their lifetime. This one has been refueled and has undergone a major overhaul, replacing all of the electronics and radar equipment, the latest that's available. We see a platform near the waterhead. It's called a Sagittal Crest. It is good to see sea lions in the bay. It means that the bay is healthy again. Between 1950 and 1970, the bay was so polluted with runoff from the streets of 5 cities, industrial waste, and if you have a house there, it can be no more than 2 stories tall. Your house has to have a unique architecture and look different from every other house on the island. They don't allow billboards there. There are no neon signs. No drive-through restaurants. You'll never see a standalone Circle K or 7-Eleven store on Coronado, and they don't allow big box stores like Walmart, Target, or Costco. The populated area is only about 1 mile square. The Midwest on vacation. Elijah Babcock and Hampton Story are not good at it. They put their rifles down and walked across Coronado to see the Pacific Ocean. It's about 1 mile across in the ocean's right. You could get a round trip on the train for 50 cents. The day of the auction arrived, so did thousands of people. The jackrabbits. The rabbits ate every single orange tree. Not one remained, but the name of that street to the right still remains Orange Avenue. It's the main street crossing Coronado today. The hotel was completed in 11 months. It opened on Valentine's Day in 1888, the largest wooden structure that was ever built. There was 400 rooms, 100 washrooms, and it was the first hotel west of the Mississippi River to have electric lights. They put a sign up in the rooms that said no match required. The hotel is so large there is an acre of walk-in refrigerator under the hotel. I wouldn't want to clean that one out. With red rooftops, cupolas, and flags on top. We won't see the hotel today. It's on the other side of the island. More than 120 movies were filmed there. One of the movies you might remember starred Marilyn Monroe and Tony Curtis. Play. She will flip the pictures over every night. One famous person that tried to stay at the hotel was L. Frank Baum. If you remember, he wrote The Wizard of Oz. He was captured so badly because he was a celebrity. He finally
You want to sit
rented
down here?
a couple blocks away so he could get some writing.
Ouais, tu veux? Tu veux danser un peu de
Some famous people who lived on Coronado include actor Dick Van Dyke and Popcorn King, or Walt Redenbacher lived and died on Coronado. He was from Indiana originally. They built a pipeline under the bay to bring fresh water to Coronado. Label on the bottles, and they sold it at an exorbitant price at their hotel as European spa water. Thankfully, the Marriott Island Resort Hotel, notice it's not very tall. There is a 4-story height restriction on businesses in Coronado.
Ça cold in the
In 1945, when you 100,000 vehicles cross the border there every day. They have 13 lanes for the pedestrians. Now there's 25 lanes for the cars. This has reduced the wait time in the bay. Nothing is allowed to get into the bay. The first was from the Navy. It had to be tall enough for the tallest of Navy ships to pass under except the aircraft carriers. The other stipulation was from the California Highway. In order to maintain that speed and reach a height of 200 feet, they needed more length. The only way to get the extra length was to put a big curve in the bridge. So that today. As we look directly ahead, we see Navy ships in the distance. Farther south to the right, we see a light on the newest Navy destroyer, the Zumwalt. The Zumwalt was built on the East Coast and came into our bay right around the holidays. It has all the latest technology for warfare.
Wake up! Check out the bridge!
It has vessels are at $4.5 billion. In Prince William, South Alaska. The other dry dock, the BAE system, has just been floated into our bay.
They could probably go upside down if they had to.
To the far right end of the bridge, the last 5 supports have been painted on the meeting began. People thought it was routine. But it was turned into community pride. Now there is a park under the bridge called Chicano Park. Whenever Arch tours come to San Diego, they visit Chicano Park to see the murals there. To the right we see a Navy destroyer number 53 is the Mobile Bay. It's a Navy cruiser. They also carry guided nuclear missiles. Looking ahead, we see a white ship. Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. The NOAA ships go out to the ocean to collect weather data around the world.
Lean up a little bit, like head over.
This ship was brought into port to have a bearing replaced. They replaced the bearing, but it was destroyed the first time they used it. It was installed and replaced. A new bearing is being made and really expensive.
Hold down that
As we
snot.
look ahead, we
Mama's trying to
notice
help
that
you
our
stay
shipping
dry.
docks are not port. We take the usual
Okay.
things that our port utilizing expect. For conventional craning, items like wind turbines. The generator can be as large as a bus, and the blades 150 feet long. There is a large windmill farm. Gotta let you know that goal also delivers half of the pineapples to our port that we consume in the country. 16 million pineapples Each of these cargo ships holds 800 semi-truckloads. And you see there are 2 cranes up there removing those truckloads. They never have to wait for a crane operator in San Diego to offload their shipment. The Dole Produce Corporation also delivers in square feet of exhibit space. We bring large conventions into the city, like medical conventions. Just before the holidays, the Hemoglobin Convention was here, which brought in 27,000 people from around the world. San Diego Car Show, Home Show, the Boat Show are also coming here. Over to the right, we see a very large gray dome. That is the new public library. The dome is larger than the Capitol Dome in Washington, D.C. Not for you. Wouldn't that be nice? In Spain are all featured in the building styles. There's 52 specialty aquarium, and a volleyball court on sand reaching the water, or you will be able to go swimming in the bay from a sandy beach. Over the rooftops of Seaport Village in the city, we see a tan building that's flat on top with very narrow vertical windows. Some famous people stayed who was the world's leader in tuna fish production. That industry employed more than 40,000 people between the canneries and fishing boats. Due to overfishing and government regulations, our tuna industry has floundered. Yes, they've really had to scale back. The sea tuna. The headquarters for Chicken of the Sea and Bumblebee are still in our city. And boats like the Cougar and Emco, first sailors, were once used to catch tuna. Today, these boats capture small fish for bait, like anchovies and sardines. On the docks, we see lobster traps. We catch the Pacific spiny lobster. When Seaport Village is rebuilt, they intend to build a large building over to our right called the Tuna Pavilion. It will act as a port and a museum area celebrating our tuna fishing heritage West Coast. Top of the market, the upper level has white tablecloth dining for a more formal atmosphere. Right next to Fish Market, we see a life-size bronze statue of Bob Hope entertaining the troops at the USO Memorial, with a recording of his humor that plays day and night. Just beyond that, a large statue of a sailor giving a nurse a sumptuous kiss. The statue is called the Unconditional Surrender. Tourists like to strike that pose and have their picture taken with the statue. Now we're coming up next to the largest floating museum in the world. The USS Midway aircraft carrier served the longest for the Navy in the last century with 47 years of service. It was a Midway class, that means it's a pilot boat. The anchors weigh 20 tons. It is a tradition to paint their anchor gold if more than half of the crew would re-enlist to be on board for a second term of service, indicating there was good morale on board the Midway. There's 24 restored aircraft on board, and today they hold large social events inside. Last week we see some hexagon-shaped towers with a 32-degree angle on the rooftop. The roof of the building has a 32-degree angle to denote our location. San Diego lies 32 degrees northwest for the whole place. Alonzo Horton also thought the city should be built here. He asked if he could buy this area, and they laughed at him and said, "Rabbitville? Sure, we'll sell that useless piece of land." Alonzo Horton bought Rabbitville at auction for 27 cents an acre. He put a couple buildings up, then he began to boast, saying, "It's a city of 100,000 people. They're just not all here yet." Well, they are here now, more than 1 million in our city today. 3 years old this year. Built on the Isle of Man between Ireland and Great Britain, it was launched in 1863 and sailed 21 times around the world, bringing immigrants from England to Australia and New Zealand. The black ship with a stripe down the side was in the movies Master and Commander, Far Side of the World, starring Russell Crowe. The HMS Surprise is a replica of the British frigate Rose. This submarine is a Soviet submarine. Foxtrot class means it was electric with the batteries recharged using diesel engines. A little rusty on the outside, but the interior pressurized hull will keep you high and dry for touring. On the barge we see 2 white Monterey-style fishing boats. They were owned by next-door neighbors in Little Italy. When Tony and Joe were out fishing one day, their lines became pink. Rather than it is the official tall ship of California. The figurehead is the queen of that mythical island of California I mentioned earlier. That's Queen Calamia. It sails on weekends, used for educational purpose and whale watching, but right now the decks are being rebuilt, so it's not open to the public. A replica of the Federal Revenue Cutter C.W. Lawrence that sailed up our coast during the gold rush, collecting taxes from the gold miners. On the shore we see the County Administration Building. Built in the 30s during the Works Projects Administration, it was built in 5 separate sections for earthquake resistance. It was dedicated in 1938 by President Franklin Roosevelt and is now on the National Register of Historic Places. We all walked across the Medea. That's the boat with the portholes near the waterline. The Medea was built in 1904 as a luxury hunting and fishing yacht. It sailed under the flags of 6 countries, was used during both World Wars, and was in the TV series Dirty Jobs. They put Mike in the boiler to clean it out, got him really dirty in there. Number 816 is a swift boat. Boats like this were used by the Navy during the Vietnam War era as a patrol boat. With 2 12-cylinder diesels, they could reach speeds of more than 30 miles an hour on flat water, the fastest of their patrol boats. That's why it was called a swift boat. Oakland. It never had to turn around. The Berkeley had a propeller and rudder at each end. The first propeller-driven steam ferry boat on the West Coast. When they brought it to San Diego, volunteers scraped off up to 60 coats of paint and varnish from the interior to reveal the beauty we see once again upstairs. If you haven't been up there, it's worth a trip up there. It's surrounded by stained glass. This completes your harbor tour of San Diego, the historic pilot boat, also on the national.
Wait, bro. I guess I put the boats together.